G'day everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. Recently, I just made another short film called Les Moustiques de Moi. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. French is not my native language. If you haven't seen it, I'll probably provide a link below, or you can find it in my channel. You'll most likely will find it. I'm currently working on another short film. This time it's a horror. Doing the storyboard right now. And yeah, I might keep you guys up to date on that if I can. But anyway, today I'm just going to talk about my issues with actors. What I mean by actors, I mean like the big time actors. The ones in Hollywood and in other Western countries. The big names. Now, my issue with these actors, or even directors, I might just call them the Hollywood elites, or anyone in that sort of status, is my issue is when they trying to tackle politics. Now, I don't have an issue with anyone have their own political beliefs here or there, but politics is a very divisive issue. And a lot of these political elites, not political elites, I mean Hollywood elites, celebrities, I don't like the attitude they think they know best. When you're in that status, for whatever reason, apparently you know it all. You know what's best. You're all virtuous and all that crap. My issue is they don't really know what's going on around the world. And expressing, like trying to act all virtuous and trying to tell people how they should think, it really just gets on my nerves. Because they're not career politicians. And yeah, they're not career politicians, they're actors. They're not really that important in society, to be honest. They're here to do a job which is entertaining people. If they were in the medieval times, they'll be a court jester. But the mindset is they think they're royalty. It really does bug me. Like, you have all these actors expressing their opinions towards Trump. Now, I'm not here to discuss about the American president or anything like that. You have your own opinions with Trump. I have my own opinions with Trump. Personally, I like the guy. He's not perfect, but compared to all the other politicians I've seen, I seem to be okay with. But a lot of these celebrities vehemently hate Trump. I mean, vehemently. They wish him dead. Now, granted, they don't like the president. What's the big issue? Okay. What's the issue of not liking the American president? Well, it's not really that much. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the current Australian Prime Minister. Granted, I don't vehemently hate him. There's like some things I like what he did, some things I don't like what he did. My opinion is a bit neutral with Scott Morrison. I think that one problem that I have is more like how they attack, Trump supporters or Republicans or anyone that's right-wing leaning. Because I'm not sure you know this, but in America, half the population are conservative. And most likely, your audience happen to be conservative. And they vehemently attack these people, calling them, bad people, lesser human beings, mindless drones, whatever. Not very positive opinions towards them, which it's not really good for your image because you want a positive relationship with your audience. I think it's very important because despite what your status is or how skilled you are as an actor, people more gravitate to people who treat them nicely. For let me give an example, like Keanu Reeves. Um, see, despite how famous he is, and I do think he is a bit limiting as an actor. The only thing he can express is anger and stoicism. But I would probably would still consider myself maybe a fan of Keanu Reeves, just because I do believe he's actually a genuine human being. If you've seen like videos of him, like a good example is when he was in a subway, he was sitting down and there's like a woman that wants to sit down. He actually offered her a seat. He just gets up and lends her a seat. And of course, you know, like countless stories about Keanu Reeves. Generally, I think that's really good. That gives you a really good image as a celebrity because that's what you need. You need like a good image. And what all these actors think what is good image is being virtuous, you know, just blindly following a cause. Like you have all these actors being environmentalists or being like allies to LGBT or all this crap. Yet the yeah, it's not good for them when they make themselves look like hypocrites. Like for example, you have Leonardo DiCaprio like expressing we should protect the environment and all that. You know, don't emit any emissions to the ozone layer. Yet he's one of the biggest contributors of doing that. Like, you know, he always constantly going to his private jet to go to like parties and all that crap. And yet he preaches us to protect the environment. Yet he carelessly putting, you know, like the affecting the environment. Granted, I'm not like an environmentalist kind of guy. I do acknowledge climate change is a thing, but I'm not like paranoid about it because generally we don't know what's the end result is going to be. It could be devastating or probably not. So I don't act all doom and gloom when it comes to that subject. I'm kind of a bit lenient when it comes to that. Well, granted, I'm a moderate conservative. So that's kind of like a more like a left wing kind of issue, and that's probably the reason why I don't care so much about it. But anyway, yeah, I don't like it when they vehemently attack their audience, like alienate like half the people that have different political beliefs than they do. It just really gets to me. As someone who does acting as a hobby, yeah, who does acting as a hobby, like doing like stage plays, and now I'm doing like, you know, acting for my own movies. I try to do some acting gigs with some short films, but well, other people's short films, but didn't get any luck with that. You know, living 4 hours away from the city. Uh, but yeah, someone that actually likes to perform and seeing all these other performers acting this way, it just makes other people that like to do acting as a career, it just makes them look bad. Because now people will have the stigma like, oh, someone's an actor, they most likely have these worldviews. And like I said before, like I'm an actor, but well, someone actor, like, you know, like I said, hobbyist actor or amateur actor. I have right wing opinions. You know, I'm a moderate conservative, but I have people who like my stuff. You know, like my performance. I like the work that I do. They have left wing opinions, and I have no problems with that. As long as they like my work, that's all good. And you know, I have friends that are left leaning, and I have friends that are right wing leaning. If we have the same opinions, then the world would be boring. Now you'd be asking, oh, but all these people that have right wing opinions, they literally are Nazis. And like I said, you don't really understand what's going on in the world. People don't even know why Trump won. And this is like the exact reason why. It's because you're vilifying all these, you know, average day people, the common folk, like, you know, vilifying them, you know, if you don't vote for this person, then you're a bigot or you're sex, you know, all that, you know, yeah, dehumanizing them, and they vote the opposite way out of spite. And I think another issue I have is like now you have all these female-led movies, like for instance, you know, of course the 2016 Ghostbusters, where they gender swap the characters, and of course you have the new Star Wars trilogy and the sequel trilogy where you have have a female lead character, Well, granted, I think a lot of like new Star Wars properties they try and enforce having like a female lead in everything, which I don't really have a problem with. It's just that they tend to be poorly written. I mean, if you look at an example like JoJo Bizarre Adventure, like the six protagonist Jolene, Hideaki didn't make a big deal of it. He just was trying to do something different. See, oh, what would it be like having a female protagonist? Try and write around that. And even though part six with most consensus, people would say it's the weakest part in the series. But I think one of the highlights is the character Jolene, especially because like for someone who's read a bit of JoJo, I can tell you, I think Jolene is a bit of improvement compared to like the last two protagonists, Giovanni and Josuke. I thought Jolene is a bit more of a enticing protagonist, but that's not just because of her gender. I just thought she's a more likable character. But that's neither here or there. You got the idea, anyway. You have like these female-led movies now, and people choose not to watch them because these filmmakers, these actors, are just pushing agenda. And if tell you, oh, if you don't support this movie or go watch this movie, then you're a bigot, you're a sexist. Which is kind of weird because when you look at the new Terminator movie, Terminator Genesis, like they're saying the exact same thing. Yet the first Terminator movie, the main lead was Sarah Connor. She was a female. Well, granted, and there's like other movies that a lot of guys like that have female leads. Another good example is the first two Alien movies, Alien and Aliens, like we have Ripley. So yeah, like us guys, we don't really have a problem with female-led characters, but it's just that now with Hollywood, they're trying to force it into our face, just so they can be, inclusive and all that crap. And you have all these actors, bad mouthing the people that are not going to support the movie. It's just not a good image. It's really not, and it actually is hurting the film industry. And is there any way to fix it? Well, I think it's too late for Hollywood. I honestly think I don't think Hollywood's not willing to change, but I don't think that'll be at the end for films though. I think it's like this is gonna be like more like the next era of films when it comes to more independent or national filmmakers, because I personally believe, like, since this day and age with access with technology and all the film gear we can get now, and usually now we can get devices for cheap, like we can make our own movies. Granted, Hollywood at the moment has all the money, but the one thing they lack is imagination and creativity. And you'd be surprised of how many creative people can make something out for less. But I'm getting off track here. I think that's pretty much it. I try not to be too long here. If you haven't seen my recent short film, go check it out. Like I said before, it's in the link below. Hope you guys like this video. If you do, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe. Tell your friends about this chud filmmaker who doesn't have left-leaning opinions. I can't believe I have to advertise myself that, he's a right-wing filmmaker. Although, to be fair, I try to make my films apolitically. Well, be apolitical, But, yeah. See you guys later.